The Long Island serial killer case, also known as the Gilgo Beach murders, is one of the most complex and disturbing unsolved serial killer cases in American history. This case has captivated the public and law enforcement alike due to the sheer number of victims, the elusive nature of the perpetrator, and the profound impact on the victims' families and communities. This video delves into the timeline, investigation, key players, and ongoing developments related to this chilling series of events. But first, subscribe to our channel for more content. And don't forget to share it with your friends and family. Shannan Gilbert was a 23-year-old escort who went missing on May 1, 2010, after fleeing from a client's home in Oak Beach, Long Island. Gilbert, originally from Jersey City, New Jersey, had been working as an escort to support herself and her family. Her disappearance would ultimately lead to the discovery of multiple bodies along Ocean Parkway, near Gilgo Beach. On the night of May 1, 2010, Gilbert made a frantic 911 call from the client's home in Oak Beach, reporting that someone was after her. Witnesses reported seeing Gilbert running through the neighborhood, knocking on doors and asking for help. She then disappeared, sparking a massive search effort by local law enforcement and volunteers. The search for Gilbert was extensive, with police and volunteers combing the area around Oak Beach and Gilgo Beach for any sign of her. Despite their efforts, Gilbert's whereabouts remained unknown for months, and her disappearance would eventually lead to the discovery of a much larger and more disturbing case. In December 2010, while searching for Gilbert, police discovered the remains of Melissa Barthelemy, followed by 3 more victims: Amber Lynn Costello, Megan Waterman, and Maureen Brainerd Barnes within days. These 4 women became known as the Gilgo Four due to their proximity and similar circumstances surrounding their disappearances and deaths. The Gilgo Four were all young women who had worked as escorts or engaged in sex work. Melissa Barthelemy, 24, was last seen alive in New York City on July 10, 2009. Amber Lynn Costello, 27, was last seen alive at her home in West Babylon, New York on September 2, 2010. Megan Waterman, 22, was last seen alive at the Holiday Inn in Hauppauge, New York on June 6, 2010. Maureen Brainerd Barnes, 25, was last seen alive in New York City on July 9, 2007. Over the next few months, more bodies were discovered along Ocean Parkway, bringing the total number of victims to at least 10. These victims included Jessica Taylor, whose partial remains were found near Gilgo Beach in March 2011, and Valerie Mack, whose partial remains had been discovered in Minorville, New York, years earlier. The investigation into the Gilgo Beach murders was a complex and challenging one from the start. The Suffolk County Police Department faced numerous obstacles, including a lack of leads, limited resources, and the fact that the victims' backgrounds often included sex work and drug use, which made it harder to gather information from potential witnesses. In early 2011, a specialized task force was formed to investigate the Gilgo Beach murders. The task force, which included members from the Suffolk County Police Department, the New York State Police, and the FBI, worked to gather evidence, interview witnesses, and develop a profile of the killer or killers. Despite the formation of the task force, the investigation faced numerous challenges and setbacks. The lack of physical evidence and the fact that the victims' bodies had been scattered over a wide area made it difficult to establish a clear timeline or modus operandi. Additionally, the task force had to contend with the media frenzy surrounding the case, which often complicated their efforts. In July 2023, Rex Heuermann, a 59-year-old New York City architect, was arrested and charged with multiple counts of murder related to the Gilgo Beach killings. Heuermann, a married father of 2, had no prior criminal record and lived in Massapequa Park, Long Island, just a few miles from where the victims' bodies were found. Investigators were able to link Heuermann to the murders through a combination of DNA evidence and cell phone records. A hair found on one of the victims' bodies was found to match Heuermann's DNA, and cell phone records placed him in the vicinity of several victims before their disappearances. Additionally, investigators discovered that Heuermann had been conducting extensive online searches related to the case and had even visited some of the crime scenes. Heuermann's background and personal life were in stark contrast to the horrific allegations against him. He was a successful architect with a seemingly normal family life, and his arrest came as a shock to many who knew him. However, as the investigation progressed, more details emerged about Heuermann's dark obsessions and his possible involvement in other unsolved murders. Heuermann was charged with the murders of Melissa Barthelemy, Megan Waterman, Amber Koslow, and Maureen Brainerd Barnes. At his arraignment in July 2023, Heuermann pleaded not guilty to all charges. His trial is expected to be one of the most high-profile and closely watched cases in recent memory. As the case against Heuermann moves forward, his defense team has been working to challenge the evidence presented by prosecutors. They have argued that the DNA evidence is not conclusive and that cell phone records can be misleading. Additionally, Heuermann's lawyers have raised concerns about the media coverage of the case and its potential impact on the jury pool. In June 2024, Heuermann was charged with 2 additional murders dating back to 1993 and 2003, Sandra Costilla and Jessica Taylor, further complicating an already intricate case. Investigators continue to explore connections between these cases and other unsolved murders in New York, including the possibility that Heuermann may have been responsible for even more victims. The families of the victims have been vocal throughout this process, advocating for justice while grappling with their loss. Many have expressed hope that recent developments will lead to answers about their loved ones' fates and closure for their long-standing grief. However, the ongoing nature of the case and the media attention surrounding it have also been difficult for the families to navigate. The Long Island serial killer case has brought attention to broader societal issues surrounding sex work, including stigma, vulnerability, and law enforcement's approach to missing persons cases involving marginalized individuals. Many have argued that the victims' backgrounds as sex workers may have contributed to the initial lack of urgency in the investigation and the difficulty in gathering information from potential witnesses. Media coverage has played a significant role in keeping public interest alive regarding this case. Documentaries, podcasts, and news articles have explored various aspects of the Gilgo Beach murders, contributing to ongoing discussions about justice for victims and the need for societal change. However, some have also criticized the media for sensationalizing the case and contributing to the stigma surrounding sex work. The Long Island serial killer case remains an open wound for many families and communities affected by these tragic events. As investigations continue and legal proceedings unfold for Rex Heuermann, there is hope that justice will be served for the victims who lost their lives under such horrific circumstances. However, the case also serves as a stark reminder of the need for societal change and the importance of valuing and protecting all members of our communities, regardless of their circumstances or backgrounds. The Long Island serial killer case will undoubtedly continue to captivate the public and shape discussions about crime, justice, and the value of human life for years to come.